that then? Someone, New Haven, was it? Yeah, sorry, I've got loads coming back. You're around 8 to 9s to me.
Hello, welcome back. It's Fred in the shed on the FM now on the 1.9. We've got some local action coming on. Can't quite hear the other station, but...
Sorry, I'm only getting bits and pieces. Yeah, I'd just like to say good morning to Dave in Dartford.
Got the Elstree guy there. So yeah, the weather is changing in the UK. I'm making this video, we are mid-September, and at the moment we've got some really nice sunny weather, but it's getting a little bit cold, a little bit damp in the mornings, as you'd expect as autumn or the fall comes on. And it's about this sort of time of year.
Nice one. Anyway, yeah, Mark's booming out today, so he normally gets...
It's about this time of year that I take my little 10 metre CB radios out of the shed, because although the shed is mostly dry, it doesn't leak, there is a few little gaps in the side of, you can see, I know I've got that taped up, but it does get a little bit damp in here when we get frosts and things like that, and I don't like to leave my CB radios.
Where's that?
CB radios out here in the shed, obviously they don't want them to sort of get mucked up, but it's such a shame to take the radios out. I really feel I want to keep something in here because the CB has been so popular. It's been so popular since lockdown for the COVID situation, and you've got these stations like on here today.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking it is actually. Yeah, he's
got these stations that are coming on every day now on the 1.9. It's never been as popular as this. It's fantastic. So I feel a bit bad about taking my radios out, because I do like to sometimes on a reasonable day pop into the shed and just have a little flick round. So originally I went onto eBay and I thought, you know, I tell you what, I'll spend 25 quid, 25 pounds, and I'll buy an old radio from the day, try and get something that's been looked after, not been messed about or anything like that, a Harvard, a Eurosonic, maybe even an Amstrad, but it's something possibly in a box. And well, I was pretty shocked. 25 quid, Fred, you must be joking. This COVID situation, people getting interested in CB, I guess my videos and other people that have made videos over the lockdown, prices of CBs have been going up and up, and yeah, I'm going to be talking probably 40, 50, if not 60 pounds for something that's decent in a box and that's going to work. And do I really want to sort of spend that? And if I do get a classic radio, do I really want to leave that out here to possibly get ruined in the winter? I don't think that's really fair either. So I turn myself attention to classic.
Yeah, as I say, £9 Elstree.
I turn my attention to these little kind of micro radios that are all over the markets now. You can find these on eBay, Knights, Moonraker, things like that. I've got a little micro radio up here. Sorry, the sun's going to start coming in now. It's a little 2 metre 70 centimetre radio. I occasionally call this a 10 metre radio on videos. I don't know why, so forgive me for that. I kind of like the value of these little micro radios, the CRT-1 for example, which now has got a power meter, the CRT Millennium. President do a very, very small little radio, which is multi-function. It's only AM, FM, we're not talking sideband radios for this sort of money. But the thing is, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I do like to twiddle me knob. That was good. I do like to twiddle me knobs, and I do like a basic channel select. Some of these radios have got scan, which is fine, and I've got auto squelch, which is fine. I'm not a big fan of auto squelch, to be honest. I do like basic radios that I can just come out here and, like today,
oh, he's booming.
have a little flick round the FM, just sort of see who's about, local contacts. I've noticed a lot of these radios, and this includes things like the President Teddy, which is a lovely little compact radio. I've noticed that even to change the channel, you've got an up and down button. A lot of them do have a sort of channel selector type pot, but when you look into the specs on the radio, you have to then press another button which changes the channel selector to obviously channel selector, and then that becomes your volume, then that can become your squelch, so it's multifunctional. I find that, to be honest, that's a bit of a nightmare. I can imagine driving and you're trying to then read the little displays. Another radio that's really, really good is the CRT 2000. A little bit more expensive than I want to pay for the shed, but a CRT 2000, I believe that does two versions. One has a maximum power of 15 watts, which is pretty useful, and even 40 watts. Can you believe that? That's 40 watts on a tiny little radio. But again, it's very, very multi-function. It's multi-button pressing, things like that. That's not what I want. I just want something really, really basic, a bit of an old school radio. Another thing that also puts me off is the fact the audio quality. Yeah, you can plug in an external speaker. The thing is about the 6900. It's got a very nice large speaker built into the radio. This little radio we've got up here, it's got a tiny speaker. Puts out a very, very weak audio. You really do need to put this into an extension speaker. So again, so I'm looking for a radio that I want, a small radio, but I'm not sure that I want to go micro, those really tiny ones, and I'd like to find something with a decent speaker, and manual controls, a manual squelch, a manual channel select, and a volume control. I just want a basic old school radio. So I'm going to go online and have a look. I've seen something which is reduced, I'll show you, and I think this might be exactly what I want, a basic old school radio, not too big, not too small. So let's go inside and let me show you what I've come up with. And this is what I came up with. It is a President Truman little AM FM radio. It's not a new design of radio. This has been out, I think about 10 years. I watched Simon the Wizard do a video on this at least 9 years ago when it first originally launched here in the UK. So it's not the newest radio on the market. I'm sure things have moved on, mainly with menu systems and, like I say, multi-function buttons, changing the colours of the display and all that. Totally not interested in that for a little radio from the shed. Now, originally this came out, I did see it was over £100 in the UK, which I thought was a little bit too much for a mid-sized radio, but it has now been reduced. I imagine this is going to be obsolete fairly soon. It's an outgoing radio, and I bought this. I don't mind showing you the price because this is Fred in the Shed. So there we go, came from Moonraker in the UK, and all in with the postage, everything else, came to £77.94, which a little bit more than I wanted to spend. I originally said £60, but I think I'm quite happy to go to that. Yeah, as I say, it does everything that you could possibly want for a basic radio for the shed. It's just AM, FM, it's manual channel select control. It's got an auto squelch. I don't know if I get on with those too well. Manual squelch, and also just a basic volume on off control. Very, very basic. Well, I'll get it out of the box and then we'll have a look at it. Okay, there you go. I don't really do unboxing videos. I can't really see the point. People sitting watching you take something out of a box, but I did speed that up for you. Right, we can take this little protective sticker off. And let me just go through some of the things that I like straight away, straight out of the box. First thing, and it's quite important to me, it's a standard 6-pin removable microphone. A lot of these little mini radios either come with, like the CRT one, it comes with a fixed microphone, or if you have got a removable microphone, it's normally the modular plug, which isn't so popular when you come to, if you want to improve or replace the microphone with a power mic, something like that. So yeah, very, very pleased straight away. It's got a 6-pin microphone. It comes with just a standard President microphone. Good points is it hasn't got an up and down button. I actually don't like those on a microphone because I'm home based. It's not really important to me, and I find that I catch them with my thumb, and quite often I go off frequency. So for me, that's a bonus. It's a little bit light. It doesn't feel as heavy as the Grant 2 microphone, but it's fine for what it is. Yeah, absolutely. We will do some testing. I will take this into the shed on another video and we'll do some audio testing. Sometimes these little radios can be a little bit quiet on the audio. I don't think this will have a mic gain built into the radio itself. You can turn them up inside if necessary, but yeah, but at least you can change this out. At least you've got a standard 6-pin and you can upgrade the microphone if you want. So that's a good thing. Like I say, it's very, very basic. Manual control, manual channel select, nothing else. Auto squelch, manual squelch. It's not an up and down key press, it's a manual, so you can ride the squelch to bring in those distant stations. I don't use squelch on sideband, but I do use squelch on FM, especially when I'm just sitting out in the shed. I don't want the static sound all the time. And a simple on off and volume control. So like I say, it's AM and FM, UK 40 and SEPT mid-block. I do believe that if you hold down the function key and when you turn the radio on, you can then have got the German, the Polish, the Italian channels and all of that. Whether you're going to use those, I kind of think that if you want a sort of a real wide-banded radio, you're going to need sideband, to be honest, to really get the full benefit of that. Personally, I will just be using the 40 channel FM and the Euroblog. Just on the construction side of it, it actually feels really good quality for what is basically a £60-70 radio. The controls themselves feel nice and precise, no problem there. It's an all metal casework construction, just with the plastic bezel at the front. And like I said, in the shed there, you've got a very nice, which I would say a full-sized speaker. I'm not exactly sure it's the exact size, but you can see it's a nice size speaker, which is going to give you a deeper audio reproduction, not like a tiny little 2 centimetre speaker that you get in some of the radios. Then moving on to the back, it did come with a piece of protection there for the coaxial plug socket, which I was quite like. Again, very, very basic here. Power lead is hardwired into the radio. Might have been nicer if that was a plug there, just in case you sort of damage it. But the power lead itself, I'm pleased to say that it just comes with bare wires at the end. A lot of these micro type radios now are coming with a cigarette plug, which is fine to plug into your car radio. Again, these are only 4 watts AM, 4 watts FM. It's not going to draw very much. I imagine it's probably 1.5 to 2 amps maximum draw. So you'll be absolutely fine plugging this into a cigarette lighter. On most cars, that's a maximum normally of about 10 amps. But it would maybe nice if that was removable in the future, if you did, if anyway, damage the lead. But there you go. Also just an extension speaker, little 3.5 mono jack there if you want to put an extension speaker on it. But I think with a speaker this size, I don't think that's going to be necessary. Videos are getting smaller and they're getting smaller. The displays are nice. Some of them have got a frequency display as well. This one hasn't. So you just got the very basic. It has got a signal meter and then just a channel and then what mode you're in. Yeah, I think it'd be nice maybe if it had the frequency. They do a chart in the back of the instructions, so you can check that out. But the displays on a lot of these radios now are getting smaller and smaller. I don't know about you guys, but my eyesight, I need my reading glasses on, and if I want to read something that small, so yeah, it's a nice size display. It's not too small, it's not too big. It'll be ideal for the Shed Shack. So in the next video that I'll do, I'll put it out in the shed and we'll get some contacts on it. We'll get some local contacts. I've kind of got a realistic kind of expectations for this radio. I'm not expecting it to perform as well as say the 9900, 6900. It is built at a price and it is quite an old design. We're looking at least 10-year-old, maybe older. Expectations are its sensitivity, things like that. It's not going to be the best radio in the world. Audio wise, I say we'll check it out. I don't really want to have to go inside this radio, but I do know from experience a lot of these 4-watt radios don't put out 4 watts, so generally they can be down as say 2.5, 3 watts, something like that. This one, because it's an older design, I imagine it's got the little tuning pots that you can go in and very, very carefully, you've got to be careful you don't bug it up, but you can carefully turn up possibly the modulation, and you also turn up the FM power if it's not putting out 4 watts. But I'll see how it gets on at a later date when I've had this radio a while. I'm not worried about the warranty, so at a later date maybe I will possibly go inside and we'll put it on a basic meter. I've only got basic equipment, of course, but we'll put it on a basic meter and we'll check the output. Might want to turn it up. 4 watts, I say AM, FM, absolutely fine for what I want in this shed. I'm just going to be using this as a monitoring sort of unit, really. It doesn't have a scan feature, which I might have liked, but I mean, really, how long does it take just to turn the knob around the channels? Looking forward in the shed with this, we'll see how we get on, but I might run this through a little linear amplifier. These radios, because they're only 4 watts, and like I say, more like 3 watts out the box, they're perfect for running into just a little amplifier, just to get me that little bit of distance. I don't really want to bang out 100 watts though on FM, so I'm only looking really to put out 25 to 30 watts. But we'll see. You may like it, you may not like it, you might think it's an old radio, but I think now the price has come down to this level, £65–70 delivered. I think it's a pretty good buy. I wouldn't have paid 115, 120 quid what they was asking. Okay, look out for the next video when I'll have it all set up in the shed, and then we'll get some radio contacts, and then we'll see what it sounds like. Hopefully it's going to sound okay for a £60 radio. But that's it for now. As always, cheers, thanks for tuning in. Look out for that next video, subscribe to make sure you don't miss that, hit the bell notification, all that rubbish. But as for now, as always, please, 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 please stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers.